Hi, this is Ron Nutter with another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter, and this time I'm going to show you how to set up one of the LIFX, let me say it again, LIFX, you can slur that real quickly if you don't try, bulbs. It's a mini bulb, very affordable on Amazon. Right now, you can get one for $25, and we'll start now. Okay, well, we'll get back to the goodies here. Now, this is one of the mini bulbs, so it doesn't take a whole lot of space in the fixture. So if you've got an older fixture that is a little bit cramped and doesn't really want to do much, I'm going to turn the lights up here. It's gotten a little bit dark outside, so let's bring up that a little bit so that'll look a little bit better. This is something very easy to do, and this is the newer generation of bulb, because when I first got started with the LIFX bulbs, they were pretty much limited to either Samsung AnyConnect using excuse me, using the LIFX app and Hi, this is Ron Nutter. Welcome to another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter. This time, we're going to start moving forward a little bit, and we're going to walk through setting up an LIFX mini bulb. Very compact, very small. Right now, at least at the time of doing this video, this is about $25, which is very reasonable. Now, this is white only, but not everybody needs the colors. I've got a few of the color bulbs, and to be honest, I haven't used the feature that much. But I tell you what, we're going to start here in just a second. It's been a pretty interesting process. Now, this is out of the newer series of LIFX bulbs, because it lists here on the side everything it works with. Let me see if I can get that a little bit closer. HomeKit, Google Assistant, and Amazon. They left out one thing, LIFX's own app. But you know what? That is easily taken care of, because that's really where you'll go to set this up. You'll get the process started by downloading the app, whether you've got Android or iOS. And I'm sorry, getting my phone unlocked here. It was decided to go to sleep to me. Okay, there we go. Do it the other way. I'm also breaking in a new phone on this video because I decided to move up to a little bit newer generation phone, and I've got the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. A little more than I wanted to spend. Samsung's not a sponsor, although Samsung, if you're watching this, would love to have you, because so far I've been very impressed with this phone, and I don't impress easily. If the phone works, that's kind of my expectations, but the Galaxy S9 has been very interesting, and Bixby that you've heard me talk about in some of the other videos I won't say it's a work in progress. There's improvements that Samsung is going to make to it, but one step at a time. So it's basically you just screw the bulb in, and when you first go into the app, and we're going to switch over to the app now so you can see this. We'll just tap LIFX. Now, I've already got a couple of bulbs set up, but these are the first gen bulbs, and the newer one is pretty interesting. You don't seem to have to go through some of the hoops, so they've gotten things a little bit improved. Now, we'll start, and we'll take my graphic off here so you can see the whole screen. We'll just tap on the plus that's in the upper right-hand corner, and we'll go to Connect Light. I realize you can't see where I'm looking at on the screen, so I'll move the cursor to where you see the arrow point. We'll go Connect Light. Now, at this point, it's already found the bulb. Now, we're going to tell it to, we want to use, interesting, okay, it's not finding the 5 gig. I would have hoped for 5 gig, but I'm not going to complain. We'll shift it over to that. Now, it's going to want the password, so I'm going to shift off that screen momentarily so that I can enter my SSID password. And I do encourage you, let's see, there we go. Let's see, to use something. Now, let's get it started all over again here, because oh, come on, there we go. And
Okay, we've got that. And now we'll click done, and I'll shift back over to that screen. Now, this is what you see here is the default name for the bulb. Well, we can leave that the way it is, or in my case, since I'm using this in the studio, we'll just call it Studio. And there's a whole nother video that we can look at to how to name the devices. And we'll tap down here. Don't have a location. Well, you know what? We'll just leave that one alone for what it is. And okay, we've got it named Studio. Location, we'll deal with that also in a later video. We'll just tap on OK and tap on OK again. So it's going to make a connection to the light. Unfortunately, you're not seeing down here the message I've got up on the screen. So apparently the way I'm linking my phone in didn't catch things. Let's see if I go back and then away to the screen. No, that part's just not going to show up. So right now down here, what you're not able to see, it says progress. It's opening a connection to the light. Oh, I bet I know what's happened. Right now, this is actually on my phone is shifted to the light, so we've temporarily lost the Anycast or mirror link from the phone to that, so that's why it's doing this. So it's going to take it just a little bit to get set. So we should be here in just a minute, but it's, this part is just going to take a little bit of time. It says, well, technology is all great when it works, but this is one of the things, and I'll shift back up screen, since you happen to watch that screen when it's not really doing anything. And actually, let's try something here. Let's go back to the phone. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. So what's happened now? It was trying to find the phone on the initial setting. So right now that we're going to take it and it's got to shift over. Okay, you're not seeing this, unfortunately. There's not a good way to capture it. There's actually, and there is a way here. Let me shift over to this one. On the phone, you'll see actually the name of the bulb right there. So we'll just have to tap on that one. And it's got connected, so we'll tap on the arrow to go back to the screen. Now it's going back to trying to connect to the bulb. Okay, it's connected to the bulb, and you just saw it start to flash here, so it's made the initial connection. Now it's sending the Wi-Fi credentials to the bulb right now, and that's what it shows you up there on the screen. And it's reconnecting my phone to the Wi-Fi, and now it's going to look for the light now on the network that I was on. So it does give you, okay, so it found the network. Now it's connecting to your LIFX Cloud account. And let's see, okay, we have temporarily lost that connection, but you know what? That's nothing that we can't fix. So let's go up here, and I should have expected that, and then we will go, okay, I just see I got the connection back. All right, so now we'll go into LIFX, and there we go. Now you see the light Studio. Sorry, I forgot it was going to shift SSIDs like that. But you saw how long it took, really not that long. So you can just tap the icon, or if you tap to the right arrow that's there, let me go back here, I did it a little fast. If you see that little arrow, whoops, that was not what we expected. And let's see here. Oh, technology is great when it works. Okay, it's lost the session. Not a problem. As we all know, technology is great when it decides to work. So I will go back into the app. We'll stop it and restart it. Okay, now we've got it. All right, now going back to where we were before we were so rudely interrupted. And let's go back to my main screen so that I can see everything that's going on with you. So we now have, okay, so it's added the bulb. Okay, let's go back to my home. We'll go back to all groups. Okay, it's decided to cop a little bit of an attitude here. And, okay, so now it's, okay, for some reason, lights. Oh, we go to the light setting. Okay. This is a newer app, and therein lied the problem. So if we go to living room and then bulbs, now you'll see the studio right there. So what we'll do is we'll just tap on that little right arrow, and so you can see we can raise and lower. Let me get this over here where you can see a little bit. All right, well, it's okay. Come on here. Well, there. I'll turn it. Well, things do not want to play nice, do they? But you can see as the reflection gradually dims in the screen, and then, of course, now we've got it up to full glare mode there. And we, of course, turn it on and off by tapping that little icon right there. And then this is the part where I thought you scrolling up and down. I should have been watching the screen a little bit more so you could see what I was talking about. So we'll just go to Studio and tap on that little left arrow. And now we're back to living room. It defaulted to putting it in the living room since I didn't change it. And that's really all there is to it. It's a pretty straightforward deal. And I apologize, this video hasn't been as fluid as I would have liked, but I was using two new things at the same time. The Galaxy S9, which has been pretty interesting the short time I've had it, and there's things that we can do. Actually, we shift back to that screen. Now, this is one of the things that Bixby can do for you. Home takes you back to the main screen. Now, if I go open LIFX.
Looks like we can't do that in the context.
And Bixby just gave me an error that didn't know how to do it. I've had it working, so this apparently is one of the newer features that they haven't quite got the kinks out of yet. This has been really, this bulb was a dream to set up compared to what you used to have to do on some of it. Now, some of that could have been Android, because I have been doing most of my work within iOS. The Android has been very easy to adjust to, and the Galaxy 9 really has been pretty straightforward. Like I said, Samsung is not a sponsor. Samsung, if you're listening, would love to have you. I've been talking to a couple of different divisions at Samsung because there's a whole series of connected items they've got with their smart home announcements they made at Consumer Electronics Show this year. I've got links in the show notes on getting both the LIFX bulb, and actually I'm just going to reach over here, and this is not something you would do with an old tungsten bulb. It's been on long enough now, you would be hollering a little bit. This is what the Mini looks like. And it's, pretty straightforward. There's a little bit of lettering here that's kind of hard to pick up with the camera, but this was very easy to remove out. It gets a little warm back in here, but folks, there's LEDs back in there and they're going to generate some heat. But it was very easy to touch from here. So especially if there's young ones around the house, this is probably a little bit safer bulb with the LED technologies than some of the tungstens, because you can burn yourself quite a bit on them. I will be coming out with other videos following up with this same bulb, because now that we've got it within LIFX's app, now we'll be linking to with Cortana, with Alexa, with Google Home, and you can tie this even into Samsung Smart Things. So there's 4 ways besides the LIFX app that you can do this with. So you really have a lot of flexibilities. And one of the things, now granted, not everybody's going to be able to have the flagship Galaxy phone at this point, but there are other options out there. I was resurrecting an old iPhone 3GS, which that was when Apple came out with them, and you had to have a SIM card. In fact, it's complaining now, and I'm going to have to go find a SIM card that's inactive and slide it in there. because if you've got an old smartphone that you're not using, and you can sometimes pick them up at flea markets for little or nothing, you may not even have to put a SIM card into it, but at least that gives you that way. If you're a nonprofit or a service organization, you're trying to do something nice for somebody who's handicapped or has other challenges where turning on lights is not always easy for them, or other devices, doing some sort of smartphone as an interface or iPad, that way they've got it right at their hand. And we've already shown in other videos using Cortana, using Alexa, using the Google Assistant. I keep wanting to say Google Home, but it's actually Google Assistant. So there's several ways to do it. And this is all going to be covered in the book I'm working with. And I've decided I'm going to push out the release date a little bit because there's several things I really want to get in the book. This being one of them. This was not something I'd planned to do, but the more I thought about it, I wanted to have the newer generation bulb out here. We've got, the Sylvania LED strip light, the flexible light strips. We've still got that to work with. So I've got quite a bit to do here. I'm just trying not to do it all at once. There are links in here with where you can go get your own LIFX Mini, and they believe they do make a color version. I just went for the plain white because so far I've got a couple of the colors and I've never really had a good reason to turn on the colors for certain things. And that's where we can get into some things that we'll look at. IFTTT, it's if this then that. It's an add-on that's based in the cloud that you can do things beyond what the manufacturer for a particular device came out with. It's all a matter of what APIs have been exposed. I've rattled on long enough. Thank you very much for watching this. I really appreciate those that are subscribing because my numbers are building up. One step at a time, that's all I can ask. If there's anything I can do to help you to make this more enjoyable, please let me know. I want this to be, to save you some time, save you some hassle on doing it. And that's why, especially when I found one device that had all three in it, that made a perfect reason to look at that. So again, thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel. If this video really helped you, I would appreciate your liking it because all those help build up information that when I start going to companies for information about this book and other projects that I'm going to be looking at, it shows them that I am reaching people. And then that in turn, you're helping me, allows me then to look at other things to where I can help you some as well. And we can make this a win-win for everybody. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll be talking to you soon.